Okay, so you know how sometimes your phone just, like, decides to take a swan dive onto the pavement?
Oh, tell me about it. The dreaded spiderweb screen of doom.
Right, and suddenly you're, like, scrambling for those rice myths that the internet told you about.
Desperate times, desperate measures. But you know who you don't call in those moments of tech despair? Ghostbusters.
Unless your phone is possessed by some kind of digital demon, yeah, probably not the best first call. But seriously, who do you turn to when your phone goes on the fritz? Well, that's where today's deep dive comes in.
We're talking about the unsung heroes of the digital age. Mobile phone repair technicians.
These are the people who bring our beloved devices back from the brink, and today we're going to find out what makes them tick.
And to guide us on this deep dive, we're tapping into the wisdom of RoleCatcher.com.
They've got some seriously insightful career guides, and their take on mobile phone repair technicians is spot on.
I was checking out their reports this morning, and they're packed with great info, ready to unpack it.
Let's do it. So first things first, what does a mobile phone repair technician actually do all day?
That's a great question. It's more than just swapping out cracked screens, that's for sure.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Way more. Think of it this way. You're like a digital detective, diagnosing and treating all sorts of phone ailments.
Ooh, I like that. A digital detective. So we're talking about software glitches, battery woes, maybe even some micro-soldering action.
You got it. RoleCatcher lays out all these key tasks. You could be running tests to pinpoint a problem, replacing tiny components like charging ports, or even dealing with water damage.
Wow, that's some serious tech surgery. Sounds like you need a steady hand and a whole lot of patience for this gig.
Absolutely. Precision is key. But you know what's interesting?
What's that?
The work environment isn't always what you'd expect. RoleCatcher talks about how it could be a busy repair shop, a mall kiosk, or even part of a bigger electronics store.
Right, I can picture it now. The smell of solder in the air, rows of those tiny screwdrivers.
Exactly. It's a pretty dynamic atmosphere.
But it's not always about the brick and mortar, is it?
They're catching on. The rise of remote work has even infiltrated the world of phone repair.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
Well, some technicians offer their services freelance, setting their own hours, working from wherever they want.
That's amazing. Talk about flexibility.
Mhm.
But let's talk job security for a sec. Is this a field that's actually growing?
Good question. And according to RoleCatcher's industry trends section, it's booming.
Really? Why is that?
Well, think about it. Our dependence on smartphones is like skyrocketing.
True. I mean, they're not just phones anymore. There are cameras, our wallets, our everything.
Exactly. So more phones, more problems, which means...
Or demand for tech-savvy fixers.
Mm.
Makes sense. But technology changes so fast. What does that mean for someone considering this career?
It means continuous learning is key, and RoleCatcher emphasizes that. New phone models come out all the time.
So you've got to be ready to adapt, to pick up those new skills as you go.
Exactly. It's a field for those who love to learn and stay ahead of the tech curve.
So it's not enough to be a master of micro-soldering. You've got to be a bit of a tech trendsetter, too.
Exactly. It's a career that keeps you on your toes, but that's part of the excitement. But let's be real for a moment.
About...
Every job has its downsides, right?
Oh, absolutely. Every rose has its thorns. What are some of the challenges that a mobile phone repair technician might face?
RoleCatcher's really upfront about that, which I appreciate. One thing they highlight is that it can be physically demanding.
Oh, right. I imagine you're hunched over those tiny components all day.
Yeah, you're using specialized tools, and it can take a toll on your hands, your back.
Ergonomics would definitely be something to consider.
For sure. And then there's the whole dealing with .customers aspect.
Ah, yes, the customer service side of things.
Right. Some people, when their phone's broken, they kind of panic.
It's like their lifeline to the world has been severed. I get it.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you need patience, empathy, and the ability to stay calm under pressure.
It's all about understanding those frantic explanations of what the phone was doing right before it died.
Exactly. But hey, let's not forget the upsides. Remember that flexibility we talked
Oh,
about?
yeah, that's a huge plus.
Right. And there's something incredibly satisfying about taking something broken and bringing it back to life.
Totally. It's like this instant sense of accomplishment. So let's say someone is hooked. They want to become a mobile phone repair technician. What does their career path look like?
Well, RoleCatcher breaks it down into these clear career stages, which is super helpful.
Okay, so walk me through it. Where do you even begin?
Typically, you'd start as an entry-level technician. You're learning the ropes, mastering the basics.
Right, like your tech boot camp.
Exactly. As you gain experience, you move up to a junior mobile phone repair technician.
Ooh, a promotion. More responsibility, more complex repairs, maybe?
Exactly. You're tackling tougher challenges, diving deeper into software troubleshooting.
Wow, so you're not just fixing phones anymore. You're becoming a resource for other technicians.
Precisely. And if you really want to aim for the top, you can become a senior mobile phone repair technician.
Okay, now we're talking. What does that entail?
At that level, you could be leading a team,
Yep.
developing repair procedures, even mentoring new technicians.
Wow. From fixing screens to leading the fix-it crew, that's impressive. But what about certifications? Are those important in this field?
They can be a game changer. It's like getting that official stamp of approval.
Right, it shows you're serious about your craft.
Yeah.
What kind of certifications are we talking about here?
Well, RoleCatcher mentions a few. There's the Mobile Device Repair Technician certification, for example.
Ooh, that sounds impressive.
It does, doesn't it? And if you want to specialize in a specific brand, you can get certified by companies like Apple or Samsung.
Oh, wow. So you could be an Apple certified iOS technician or a Samsung certified repair technician. That's next level.
It is. It's like having a direct line to the tech gods themselves.
So you've got your career paths, your certifications, all that good stuff. But I'm curious about something RoleCatcher mentioned. Transferable skills. What does that even mean in the context of phone repair?
That's a great question. It means that the skills you learn fixing phones don't just apply to phones.
Oh, so it's like your skills are a springboard to other opportunities.
Exactly. You're developing attention to detail, mastering diagnostic tools, becoming a master problem solver. Those skills are valuable in a lot of fields.
That's amazing. So what other career paths could these transferable skills lead to? Give me some examples.
Well, for starters, you could become a consumer electronics repair technician.
So instead of just smartphones, you're fixing TVs, laptops, gaming consoles, the whole shebang.
Exactly. Or how about becoming a household appliance repair technician?
Wait, really? Like fixing washing machines and ovens?
Yep. You're still using your expertise to diagnose problems and get things running smoothly.
Wow, I would have never thought of that.
And if you're into more intricate work, you could even explore watch and clock repair.
Now that's a unique path.
Hmm.
So becoming a mobile phone repair technician isn't just about fixing phones. It's about opening doors to a world of technical possibilities.
Precisely. And what's really cool is that you don't necessarily need a fancy degree to get started in this field.
You mean it's more about passion, a willingness to learn, and a knack for tinkering.
Exactly. If you love taking things apart and figuring out how they work, this might be the perfect career for you.
So for all you tech enthusiasts out there, if you've ever felt that spark of curiosity when a gadget breaks, if you've ever felt that urge to open it up and see what's inside, then maybe the world of mobile phone repair is calling your name. It's almost like those old electronics kits you see in antique stores now. You know, the ones that say build your own radio.
Right, except instead of building it, you're taking it apart and putting it back together again.
And hopefully it still works afterward. But you know, it's not just about the technical skills, is it? You're dealing with people all day long in this job.
That's a crucial point. RoleCatcher talks about that too. You need good people skills to really thrive as a mobile phone repair technician.
Makes sense. So what kind of soft skills are we talking about here?
Communication is huge.
I bet.
You've got to explain these sometimes complex tech issues to people who might not be as tech savvy.
Right. No using jargon or anything.
Exactly. It's about being clear, patient, and reassuring. And empathy, that's really important too.
Empathy. For a broken phone.
Well, for the person who owns the broken phone, right?
That's true. It can be super stressful when your phone dies, especially these days when our phones are like our whole lives.
Exactly. A good technician gets that.
Yeah.
They're not just fixing a device, they're helping a person who's probably feeling a bit frazzled.
So you need to be a tech whiz and a people person. That's a pretty unique skill set.
It is. And you've got to be a good problem solver, too.
Well, that seems pretty obvious, right?
It is, but it's worth emphasizing. Each repair is like a puzzle.
Yeah.
You have to figure out what's wrong, why it's wrong, and how to fix it.
You're like a digital detective, piecing together clues.
I like that. And those problem-solving skills, they come in handy in all aspects of life, not just phone repair.
So true. Now, taking a step back for a moment, we're living in a world that's becoming more and more reliant on technology every day. What does that mean for the future of the mobile phone repair technician?
That's the big question, right? Will these jobs still be around in 10, 20 years?
Exactly. What does RoleCatcher have to say about that?
Well, based on all the trends, it looks like this career path has some serious staying power.
Really?
As long as people are still using smartphones and other mobile devices, there's going to be a need for people who can fix them.
Okay, that makes sense. Our phones aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
Hmm.
But technology is always evolving. How can people in this field make sure they stay ahead of the game?
That's where that whole continuous learning thing comes in, remember?
Oh, right. Always be learning, always be growing.
Exactly. A good technician is always curious, always eager to expand their knowledge.
So it's like being on this treadmill of tech innovation, constantly having to keep up with the latest advancements.
In a way, yeah. But that's a good kind of treadmill. It keeps things interesting.
Who knows what the future holds, right? Maybe we'll be repairing foldable phones or holographic devices next.
Or even those implantable chips that everyone's talking about.
No, that would be something. It's amazing to think that the skills you learn fixing today's smartphones could be preparing you for, like the future of technology.
It's true. It all starts with that spark of curiosity, that desire to take things apart and see how they work.
It really is fascinating to think about where this field could go, in the next decade or two. It's like we're on the cusp of a whole new era of tech.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to something we've touched on a few times already, the importance of staying ahead of the tech curve. RoleCatcher really hammers this point home.
Yeah, they do. It's not enough to just be good at fixing what's out there now. You've got to be ready for what's next.
Exactly. So here's a question for all those aspiring mobile phone repair technicians out there. How are you going to stay on top of your game in such a fast-paced field?
It's a tough one. I mean, the tech world moves so quickly. What's the next big thing today could be yesterday's news tomorrow.
Exactly. So how do you stay current?
What do you recommend?
Well, it depends. Are you someone who loves reading tech blogs and hanging out in online forums?
Some people thrive on that. Or maybe you're more of a hands-on learner.
There you go. Maybe you learn best by actually getting your hands dirty, taking things apart, experimenting.
Exactly. There's no substitute for that kind of hands-on experience.
Absolutely. It's how you really learn and grow in this field.
And who knows, maybe in the process of staying ahead of the curve, you'll stumble upon a whole new passion.
That's the thing about this field. It's not just about phones. It's about a way of thinking, a curiosity about how things work.
Well said. And that's what makes this career path so exciting. It's not just a job. It's a journey of constant learning, exploration, and pushing those tech boundaries.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of mobile phone repair technicians.
This has been fun. We've covered a lot of ground, from the nitty-gritty of repairs to the future of the field.
We've talked about the skills you need, the career paths you can take, and the importance of staying ahead of those ever-changing tech trends.
And we've learned that it's a career that's perfect for anyone who's ever looked at a broken gadget and thought, I wonder how that works, or I bet I could fix that.
Exactly. So, to all our listeners out there, if you've ever felt that spark of curiosity, that urge to tinker, that desire to take things apart and put them back together, then maybe, just maybe, the world of mobile phone repair is calling your name.
Answer the call. You never know where it might lead you.
And on that note of tech-fueled inspiration, we'll wrap things up. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep that spirit of curiosity alive.